got some new orders. Cool. Let's lose that. I don't really feel like doing brawls tonight. We'll add attacker, because we're obviously going to do some... I'll get rid of breach. No, we'll keep that. We'll get rid of breach around it, because getting medic orders and breach with bots is... without bots is difficult. Breach executioner is fine. We'll keep that. Alright, we'll go with that. It's a good start. Alright, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Hello, folks. Hello. Yep, we are streaming tonight. We're going to try to redo last night. Last night, I just was not in the mood. I was trying to stream because that's what I do every Friday night. I always do a For Honor stream, but I wasn't in the mood. Valentine's Day is just not a happy day for me, and a lot of stuff went wrong that day that I'm not going to go into right now. I'm not going to talk about personal stuff, need to know basis. But just know that it was a rough day. I wasn't in a good mood, and so with the way the matches were going and the way chat was going, I was just like, you know what? I just can't. It's better to just pull out early and just, abandon ship rather than go through 2 hours of just, misery. Y'all don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. We just move on, So we go from there. So it doesn't matter what we play. So let's start off with Hatun and go from there. I want to get into more practice with Hatun. Anyway, let's see. What is your least favorite For Honor class type? I think my least favorite is the I don't know. That's a hard one because, I enjoy characters from every class type, but if I had to pick, I guess I would say either Vanguard or Assassin. Vanguard because there's just so few of them. There's only 5 Vanguards in the game, so whenever a Vanguard order shows up, like you've got to do 12 matches as a Vanguard, it's like, well, I'm only playing 5 characters for 12 matches. But then Assassins, because I don't think I'm very good with any Assassins. I don't think there's any Assassins on the roster that I'm very good with. So when I play against these deflect masters who can pull out great light moves, deflects, just, run circles around me, it gets very irritating. So I would say that Assassin or Vanguard, probably. You like my vid on Deborah's origin? Thank you. You've successfully romanced Karlak. Good. Glad to hear it. The recent video about writing tips was good. I like the nuance you added to the points. Thank you. I am working on part 2. I have watched his second video on writing men, and I am planning out that video now. So I'm working on that second video. So if you would like the first one, the second one's on the way. Raven, will we be seeing a new Viking hero anytime soon? I doubt it. They haven't announced any new Viking heroes coming next year. They haven't announced any new heroes coming next year, and honestly, I don't want any more Viking heroes. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think we need any more Vikings. I think we've got enough Vikings, and I'll be honest, I think we've got enough Samurai too. I would like some more Wulin, and maybe one more Knight, and then I think we're good. After that, just focus on Wulin and Outlanders. You're waiting on my next Space Marine 2 video? I will be releasing a video sometime soon on the Black Cobras, and I'll use Space Marine 2 clips. Can we have a general vibe for writing tips part 2? What do you mean, general vibe for writing tips? Like, I just don't know what you mean. I don't, like, it's not just a matter of me liking or disliking the Vikings. I think it's a matter of general principle. I feel like the Viking community has become, oh. Oh, I thought I dodged that. All right, he's dodging on dodging on instinct, so let's see if got him. Good fight. Good fight. That was not the way I wanted it to go, but that went well. Anyway, Raven, I'm saying this because Knights and Samurai already heroes. Why not add one more to Vikings? Because I don't think the Vikings deserve anymore. Every time a new season comes, the Viking fans are never satisfied with it. I'm not even kidding. Every time a new season comes, the Viking fans are never satisfied. If it's a Viking-based season, oh, they did our Viking boys dirty again. The Vikings are getting shat on again. We're not getting good armor. We're not getting good new executions. The hero skin looks bad. We are just, like, they can't be satisfied with it. But then when it's a crap, this could get ugly, boys. Crap. Anyway, but the Vikings are never satisfied if they get a season, and if they don't get a season, when's the next Viking season? And anytime a new hero comes out, they always bitch about it. They bitched about Varangian Guard. They bitched about Jormungandr. I'm kind of like, nah, you don't need any new heroes or seasons. You don't need any more. You got plenty. You weren't satisfied with what you got. You don't need any. What type of knight would I like to see added to the game? A paladin. Give them a warhammer and a shield. Give us a paladin with a warhammer and a shield. Good light parry. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway. More Woolen Heroes, agreed. Why is the stream called a celebration of history? February is considered Black History Month, and I do not agree with the idea of Black History Month. I think that's a racist idea. So I say let's call it the celebration of history. Not celebration of Black history or white history or Asian history or whatever history. Celebration of history. What are you doing, bro? Oh, good catch. Good fight. Let's wait behind here. Let him get done with that. Let him wall splat. Come here. Ha! Get on the ground. Boom! And dead. We're about to lose B. Come on, bro. Stop laying there. Whoa. Okay. Valkyrie hero skin hope. Yeah, that'd be fine. Supposed to be the last Viking season, but we got Destiny instead. You got the Destiny portion for a small part of the season. The rest was Viking themed. Stop whining about it. My God, y'all got a Viking hero skin, you got a Viking map, you got a Viking OST, you got Viking executions. But no, because a small portion of it was set aside for the Halloween event, I'm sorry you feel so slighted. It must be so hard to share your precious season with the Halloween event. Meanwhile, the Knights didn't even get a season. There you go. Throw them feats, boys. Will there be a For Honor 2? No idea. Like, when was the last time we got a Knight-themed season? And I don't mean like a season where we got a Knight hero skin. I mean a Knight-themed season. Still got the kill. Nice. Anyway. It's year 8, season 1. I don't consider that a Knight season. What was knightly about it? What was knightly about year 8, season 1? Tell me what we got. Other than the hero skin, which was cool, what was knightly about it? How did it focus on knight history or lore or culture? How did it focus on any of that? You know what year 8 season 1 was? It was the nostalgia season. Basically, hey guys, remember how all this started? Remember how the whole faction war started? It started with a cataclysm and then rising up after the cataclysm. Other than that, what was it about knights? What did it have to do with knights? I'm not even kidding. What does year 8 season 1 have to do with knights? Other than the hero skin that we got, what does it have to do with knights? We have not gotten a knight season that specifically has to do with like the culture or background of knights. A Woolen hero fights with fists? No. Hell no. Hell to the no. Absolutely not. No. All right. Aramusha. Let's go. Which faction do I think has the best community? Usually the knights, I would say. There was a 1v1v1 mode was fun. Yeah, but that's not knight related. There have been no specific knight seasons where the whole aspect of it was related to knights. We've had at most two, the Ramiel season, and the Unsung Knight season. The Unsung Knight season gave us a new skin, and so did the Ramiel season, but neither one really had to do with knights. It didn't have to do with European. I mean, I guess you could argue with the Ramiel season we got wyverns and dragons and stuff, which has to do with knights, I guess. But other than that, that more has to do with like fantasy, like elves and fantasy shit. I'm talking about like real culture. You know, that's what I'm focusing on. What would a night season look like? How about Crusader crosses? Like Crusader themes? You could call the season the Great Crusade. You could call the season Reclamation. You could call it Deus Vult for all I cared. What was the season where we got a Black Prior skin? We got the Black Prior skin during the Athira season. That was Arabic themed. You could call, yeah, Aaron's right. You could call it the Reconquista. Do you play Elden Ring? Not often. I'm not good at soul style games for the most part. I did try Elden Ring. I did play it for a little while, but it just didn't capture me. You like my video about Guan Yu? Thank you. I enjoyed working on Guan Yu. All right, let's go. Anyway, Raven, have you heard of the Protestant YouTuber called Redeemed Zoomer? If so, what do you think of his content? Never heard of him. Who's Redeemed Zoomer? Crap. Dodged too soon. What are you saying sorry for? Chill out, bro. It's a fair fight. Raven, if this were a real life sword fight, would the knights beat the samurai? It depends on a lot of factors. More often than not, I would say yes, because I think the longsword is just such a very versatile and useful sword. What a coward. I love Allguard, guys. Allguard's such a strong, so awesome, you know? Just sit in your Allguard and let your teammate do the fighting. And if they focus on your teammate, then just hit them with your unblockables. Allguard's so fun, guys. F Allguard. payback. There we go. Really, bro? Everyone feel bad for Nobushi. She has to use her feats to win. Everyone feel bad for Nobushi. She had to throw an arrow strike at point blank range to win. Everyone feel bad for her now. Raven, how does this idea of a crossover sound? Deborah comes across Taquani Ahuila, who was injured in an attack and got wrong and decides to help them. I mean, it could work. I don't see a reason why it couldn't. I see Taquani Wheeler trying to kill Deborah. Why? Why do you see that happening? Raven Redeemed Zoomer makes videos explaining Christian theology. He's also Gen Z, which is part of the reason I mention him. I've never heard of him. Unless he says anything heretical, I don't have a problem. Like it's not like does he say anything that would be considered anti-Christian or heretical? Damn, I thought that I would catch him. Redeem Zoomer often calls out heresy. Good. Proud of him. He needs to. What are you saying wow for, Warden? What are you saying wow for? There we go. Had to make sure we didn't lose B. There we go.
Victory.
I think Alhila tried to kill her because she would think Deborah poses a threat to injured Taquani. Well, she might protect Taquani if he's injured. I mean, that might happen. Yeah, we needed that victory. We needed that victory. And we made some progress on our zone capturing. All right. Ready for the next round. Oh, wow. A lot of them quit except for the Nobu. Everyone quit except for the Nobu. That's shocking. That's fine, though. We'll keep going. All right. We were doing random. Let's go random again. Berserker. All right. Berserker is fine. How do you select random? On PlayStation, you press down on the right analog stick, and it'll just random it for you. Just out of curiosity, Raven, what do you see happening lore-wise for the next year? Seems like Test Your Metal might return. Yeah, Test Your Metal might return. I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of up in the air. I'm thinking that what might happen is the Hatun hits a brick wall. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion about what should happen, not what will happen, but what should happen, what I think should happen is the Hatun do well against the Vikings and Samurai, but when they make it to Ashfeld, they hit a brick wall. Because I feel like they would have trouble overcoming the fortifications of the Knights. And so with that brick wall in place, now they have to play diplomacy. And thus, we could see diplomatic efforts being made and these things rising and falling. And thus, you could have a look at different factions trying to work together. Like maybe the Wu Lin work together with the Outlanders or the Hatun specifically. Maybe the pirates are called in. Maybe the Samurai and the Knights have to team up because the Vikings have tried something. You know, like, I feel like what we need to do is see some alliances. We need to see some factions working alongside each other to one-up each other. Because if this is a time of diplomacy, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a time of peace. Raven, how do I change the map in ranked matches? You don't. Raven, to clarify, I meant Aquila was injured, not Taquani. Oh, well, okay. I mean, I still think it could work. Do I think Kong should get some hyper armor? No. No, he's already oppressive enough. Good kill. And Tira doesn't have a how to build. I haven't made it yet. You forget Berserker has hyper armor. Damn it. Yeah, y'all beat me, but I made you bleed for it. I made you bleed for it.
You captured Zone A. You lost Zone C.
They won, but at what cost exactly? Now they're all ganking up in C. That's a little cringe. Okay.
You lost Zone A.
Damn.
You captured Zone A.
All right. Hatun, I need you to hold out a minute. Hatun, I need you to hold out. You're doing pretty good, Hatun. Good move.
You captured Zone C.
Didn't expect to get knocked over that quick.
You lost Zone
Damn. I forgot how low my health was and I thought I could trade. We need a knight with a falchion and shield? Nah. No, we don't. We've already got a sword and shield knight. I think we're good. Why would someone assumed you were from Iran when you're Mexican? That's a little interesting.
You captured Zone A.
Got him. Alright, this Black Prior doesn't feint anything. Be ready for that. Outlanders only have one skin? Yep, it's true. But then again, so many people hate the Outlanders, I'm surprised they got one. Who were more cruel, the Mongols or the Huns? They're very similar. But I would give it to the Mongols in terms of some of the things they did. Matter of fact, the Huns are... Good read. There you go. Zanhu got her win. She needed the Black Prior to save her, but you got the win. Okay. I shouldn't have baited that. Good touch. Good touch. There you go. Nobushi won't win that. Got me.
Enemy team is breaking.
Heal up. Fear women, you said? Boo. I don't fear women. Raven, out of any of the Knight faction, what's your favorite Knight hero? Probably Warden. Probably Warden. Yeah, this Sohei's holding out. People call me boring for liking Warlord, yet Warden is the most vanilla hero in For Honor. Warlord is boring. That's Warlord's biggest problem. He's boring. Warden, I wouldn't say is vanilla. He's gotten updated regularly. All right. I don't even need to change teams. The teams constantly keep alternating. The only one who stayed is the Nobushi. Warlord is the best fashion. Objectively incorrect. That goes to Lawbringer. Lawbringer has better fashion. Black Prior has better fashion. Sohei has better fashion. Tiandi has goated fashion. Medjai has great fashion. Hatun has great fashion. All right, we got Peacekeeper now. All right. I'm playing all the assassins tonight. The only non-assassin I played is Aramusha. So he's a joke. Sohei's awesome, dude. Sohei is awesome. I love playing Sohei. I've had some great matches with Sohei. He's not the strongest, I'll give you that, but he's not a joke. He's actually pretty good. I'd say he's about average, C or B tier. Another samurai. No, dude, Sohei's awesome. Oh my gosh. Another samurai to appease the weebs? Are you for real? Vikings are really lacking the drip sometimes. I don't doubt that. They do need some better drip, I grant that. That's hardly the point. Jonathan doesn't like samurai, so it seems, yeah, I got that impression. My best matches are with Warlord. That's great, man, but don't diss other heroes just because you have a preference. Crap. Damn. Alright, good night, Coastal. No, it apparently still got on Raven's nerves. Jonathan, what you did was, let's be clear, you came on and said that you think that it's wrong that people call you boring for playing Warlord when Warden is vanilla. I disagreed. I said, nah, man, Warlord is boring. I agree with that. Warlord is boring. He's got a very boring kit. You then replied that Sohei is a joke. Sohei has nothing to do with Warlord, so I don't know why you said it, but you know that I play Sohei. And I said, what are you talking about? Sohei's great. He's an awesome character. I enjoy him. Instead of saying, why do you think that? You said, he's just another weeb for the samurai. And I'm like, what's wrong with another samurai? Do you have something against the samurai? So it's not that you're getting on my nerves, it's that you are saying a bunch of platitudes and ad hominems without meaning or reason. I'd like to get a kill, thank you. Raven, have you ever noticed that despite being few in number, the samurai are tied with knights for the most heroes? Well, they may be fewer in number lore-wise, but they'll always be adding new types of warriors. Good move. All right, Hatun down. Let's go ahead and turn this around right now.
You captured Zone A.
Damn. My frustration with the samurais are from experience. The people who play them tend to be the most annoying and toxic players ever. That is not a generalization, just my own personal experience. Well, I'm afraid by you saying that it is your personal experience that the samurai are the most annoying to play against, fine. You can say that if that is your personal experience. But why do you want to insult people who play samurai who aren't like that? Are you saying that every samurai player who plays samurai characters is like that?
Your team is ready.
Ran right by me, didn't you? By calling Soy a joke, am I insulting you? No, you're just wrong. Let's go, brother. Let's go, brother. Had to drop that 4th feet to save your sorry ass, Orochi. There you go. You did throw a bomb. He threw a kunai. So we were just exchanging feats. Jonathan, you're acting like calling Sohei bad, in your opinion, is an insult. It's not. It's not insulting me. I'm disagreeing with you. By disagreeing with you, am I insulting you? All right, let's find a new group. I'm a little salty. People think Warlord is boring. Okay. You're salty. People think Warlord is boring. Why is he not boring? Okay? Like, you say he's not boring. Fine. Why is he not boring? Is Raider boring? That's beside the issue. You're defending Warlord. Stop bringing up Raider. Stop bringing up Sohei. You want to defend Warlord? Keep to Warlord. This is what we call in the debating world either a straw man or a red herring. You're trying to throw out another topic to avoid the actual topic. You say you're tired of people calling Warlord boring. Okay, got it. You're tired of that. Why is he not boring? Don't bring up other characters. Why is he not boring? I haven't done a Wu-Len all night. I'm going to do a Wu-Len. My next origin will probably be Tianxi Long. No, all right. Sorry, I was checking a message. Okay, anyway. I like Warlord because he is the strong, honorable warrior. His kit is simple and works well. I can throw people off a ledge or I can duel them honorably. He is not boring, he is versatile. All right, that is your claim. Your claim is that Warlord is three things. He is an honorable warrior. That's the first thing. His kit is simple and works well, okay? And I can throw people off of a ledge. Hold on. Good delay. Surprised how long that Shinobi's Revenge lasted. That's crazy. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And then the third thing, you can throw people off a ledge or duel them honorably. He's not boring. He is versatile. Okay. So, firstly, let's look at the honorable warrior thing. He's an honorable warrior. All right. That is subjective, not objective. How you play a warlord or how you interpret a warlord is entirely up to you. For example, I could argue warlord isn't honorable because he has one of the most popular emote spams to be unhonorable, where he just gets over you and constantly teabags over you. So warlords can be dishonorable in my opinion. So that is a subjective take. Next, you say that he is easy to pick up. Yes, that I agree with. He is very simple and easy to pick up. However, many people would argue that this is exactly what makes him so boring because he's so simple. He has very little in terms of his kit. He does not have access to any unblockables or it's just this fact that he doesn't have nearly as much as some other players, and that's what upsets people. So you're free to your opinion on that. You think because he's not boring because he's easy to pick up. Some people would say that's exactly why he's boring. Now, the final part, he's versatile. Well, what do you mean by versatile? Because a lot of people see versatile as you have options. Your options that you presented was you can either ledge people or you can fight them honorably. But most people, when they consider versatility, they're not thinking about options in terms of what you can do with the hero in terms of fighting. They think in terms of their kit. So, Warlord's kit, what does he have that is versatile? Does he have a lot of 50-50 mix-up? Does he have a lot of unblockables? Does he have a lot of different bash mix-up besides just his headbutt? See, what a lot of other people would say about Warlord is that he only relies on defensive turtle play style and counterattacking, where he opens you up with a headbutt and does a light, he'll drop into his all guard to secure defense, and he will go into an undodgeable heavy from his all guard in the gank situation. They also talk about how without his headbutt, he has absolutely nothing to his kit. They'll also talk about how he relies too much on hyper armor. So there's a lot of people who would argue against this grain. So what would you say to those people? What would you say to the people who say he relies too much on hyper armor and that he doesn't have any unblockables to mix up and that he is only a defensive counterattack fighter, whereas many other characters who have the same kit can do more? For example, I would argue that Varangian Guard has a lot of similar things to Warlord. Hold on. Anyway. But yeah, so I would argue that if you want to say that he's not boring to you, that's fine. But right now you're attacking other characters like Sohei and Warden. You don't need to attack those characters. Just stand by your stance. I would say that they need to stop relying on unblockables. Okay, and if they replied, you need to stop relying on hyper armor. What would you say to that? Because they can both play that game. And then what about other characters who have more mix-ups that do not have hyper armor, like that do not have unblockables. Nobushi does not have okay, this time I'm not going to go into the good light parry. I thought he was going to do a back dodge. His dodge light is a superb piece of kit. Is it? I think it's pretty predictable. And there are other characters who have dodge lights too that I think work just as well. Why does that make him unboring? Every character has a dodge attack of some variety, and many have dodge lights. Why does him having a dodge light make him unboring? In fact, I'm playing a character right now that I think is way more fun than Warlord, Shaolin. He doesn't have an unblockable. I think what makes Shaolin more fun than Warlord is he has versatility. You have multiple options. You can rely on your key stance. You can switch into lights from key stance or heavies from key stance. You have undodgeable options. You have crushing counter options. That prevented me from doing what I wanted. Ooh, that was close. That was very close. That was a very close fight there. Almost had him. You have an idea for a video? Cool. What's up? I think a better question to get off of the Warlord discussion is to ask this. You said that Warlord is, you don't like how Warlord is called boring when Warden has the most vanilla kit. But Warden has seen a lot of updates since his release. He now has access to unblockables. He has access to hyper armor from his bash. Hold on. There we go. Like, I just don't see what it is about Warlord that makes him so great. If you enjoy him, you're free to enjoy him. Glad you do. Glad you like him. It doesn't mean that other characters like Sohei or Warden are worse. That's all I'm saying. I guess I wish Warlord had better updates and things added to his kit. Okay, now that's fine to say. That's fine to say. No one would, I don't think many would disagree with you. Like, if you enjoy Warlord and you want to see him get some more love, I get that. Understood. But what you said and what you're saying now are two different things. You're saying Warlord was not boring. Now you're saying he needs more added to his kit. So you see why this is confusing to a lot of us. And it's also not fair to say Warlord's not boring, Warden is vanilla, and Sohei's a joke. So you see how people who like Sohei or like Warden might go, whoa, what's that about? So don't act like, oh, I'm getting on Raven's nerves. No, you're saying things that are getting on a lot of people's nerves. Alright, that group left. Okay. Next one. After this one, we'll probably switch to Breach. Alright, I've done one from each faction now. Let's get in one more round with Hatun, because I still need practice. The other reason I like Warlord is he's an anti-ganker. He can be. But so is Black Prior. So is Zhang Jun. So is Medjai. How about a video discussing what would happen to civilians if they killed a knight, a Viking, and a samurai? You mean like how the justice system would treat them? I mean, yeah, that could be interesting. No, I'm gonna do Breach solo. Alright, so we're up against Shinobi, Warden, Hatun, and a bot. We've got a Black Prior Orochi and another Hatun. Cool. I like how there are two red and black Hatuns, and I am the blue and black. It's interesting. Well, the conversation's gotten old anyway, so I'm moving on. Conversation's gotten old anyway. How's my Hatun Legend going? Haven't been working on it much. I've been working on the Heroes in History. I want to get that done.
You lost Zone A. You captured Zone C.
I thought he was going to do a back dodge.
You captured Zone A.
Heal up a bit. I'm going to go to C. Gonna heal up. Got a gank going on in A. I'll go up and take it. Oh, hold on. Looks like I gotta protect B. Good move. I'm ashamed to admit I forgot about the Wulin and the Outlanders would need their own video. The Outlanders have their... Are you referring to the videos I'm doing for Ubisoft? The Outlanders already got theirs. Theirs was the first. Theirs was the first. Oh, their shinobi quit. Well, their original shinobi quit. That's a shame. I don't know why his team's winning.
You've captured Zone A. Captured Zone C.
Come on, Pryor. Ah, Pryor couldn't save me. Damn it. That Hatoon's good.
Lost Zone C. You captured Zone C. You captured Zone A. Lost Zone C.
Damn. That's the only practice. That's the only practice.
You lost Zone A.
Well, we're getting C.
You captured Zone C.
We got C and B. We gotta get A. Yep, took the both of you. I don't know what that says about you two, but it took the both of you. 10 kills, 2 deaths. Man, I am shit.
Enemy team is breaking. The enemy rally. Your team is breaking.
Ha, holy shit. I'm terrible with Hatun, man. Making the video will be more difficult because I just can't seem to play well with her. I maintain that Sohei is a garbage character. I would play Peacekeeper or God forbid Kyoshin before I play Sohei. Alright, I guess we're playing this game again. Jonathan, why do you think Sohei is a bad character? Why do you think he's a garbage character? Because I've said many times that I like him, so I'm going to defend Sohei. Why do you think he's a bad character? Explain. Alright, time to go to Breach. And yeah, I agree, Mercy. What the hell's wrong with Peacekeeper? Just for this slander, I'm going Sohei. Hold on. Because he is literally impossible to interrupt, which makes him a major pain in the butt to fight. You can interrupt him. You can 100% interrupt him. What are you talking about? You can parry any of his attacks. You can guard break him out of a move. You can even attack him when he's in the middle of a guard break. So, no, you can interrupt him. You can catch him in a dodge if you want. You can parry his dodge attacks. So, yeah, you can interrupt Sohei. Next argument. But by that logic, you can't interrupt Warlord either. Because I assume you're referring to his hyper armor? Warlord has hyper armor, and he uses it to counter people. I've heard people argue you can't interrupt Warlord unless he's in his all guard, so okay. Then I meet people spamming that stupid mallet bash. Parry or dodge. The mallet bash is a top heavy unblockable. It can be parried and it can be dodged. And by that logic, I've seen Warlord mains spam their headbutt. Next argument. See, look at that. That Son Who just dodged my top mallet attack. Beautifully done. Top heavy, thank you, Raven. I'll remember that. It's common knowledge. So again, why is Sohei garbage? Also, just to clarify something else to the audience, I have said on record that I hate Kyoshin. I've said that many times, that I hate Kyoshin and I hate Hitakiri. Now, if people like those characters, that's fine. I'm not going to say that they are garbage overall. I just don't like them, and I'll give my reasonings why I don't like them. I don't like Kyoshin because Kyoshin relies so much on his all guard in the gank, and I think he has way too many options with his feats when he goes into his all guard and uses it correctly that it makes him a little too hard to deal with in a ganking scenario. I think he's one of the strongest all guard heroes, and it's not even close, and that's annoying to fight. I don't like Hitakiri because he's just an overpowered Sohei, and their playstyle is very difficult for most players to deal with unless they are top tier reactionaries, and even then it's made harder by the constant hyper armor that they have. So I've defended my points. If you want to say that Sohei is bad or that Warlord is good, feel free, but you have to defend it. You have to say why you don't or do like it. Yeah, Ian, I know you like Kyoshin. I don't understand why you like him, but it's your choice. You can like him. You're not a weeb for liking him. I call him the weeb character because so much of what he is inspired by anime, like the blindfold, the long hair, the reverse grip guard. Like, I feel like a lot of that is very anime oriented, but that's why I call him the weeb character. Is there a hero slower than Sohei? Shugoki's full-powered heavy is slower. Oh, his running speed? No, I think, I don't think that his running speed is the slowest, but I don't know who to compare him to. I feel like Shugoki's base running speed is slower. Maybe Highlander, I don't know. Which samurai, in my opinion, is the least anime-oriented? Let's see. Honestly, either Shugoki or Sohei. I would say either Shugoki or Sohei. The Kanabo is not a common weapon in most anime. It's not something that they focus on a lot. And Sohei's whole aesthetic is very different from what you'd expect in an anime. Aramusha? No, see, Aramusha does the dual sword thing, and he's got the big hat, which I've seen in a lot of anime, so... Not Kensei. Kensei's got the long-ass sword and the samurai aesthetic armor. I don't know, that's still kind of anime to me. It's not the most anime. That goes to Kyoshin and Shinobi. But, I mean, think about it like this. If I told you what would be a samurai in a classic anime, you'd say someone with a katana. Honestly, while what Kensei has isn't a katana, it's close enough for most people that they would consider it anime-esque. Need to go heal up. Aramusha's kind of like Zoro from One Piece. Yeah, I mean, he needs a third blade. You're describing Orochi at this point. Yeah, Orochi's pretty damn anime. A lot of his executions are anime. Have you seen his most recent? It's pretty damn anime. Well, I mean, you can't blame them for adding anime aesthetic stuff to the samurai. Anime is very popular, so a lot of people are going to want their anime fix. Aramusha drip is top 5. I gotta disagree there. Maybe top 20. But not top 5. I hate that hat. It's so weird looking. I do not like Aramusha's hat at all. In your opinion, drip is top 5? Hey, you're free to that thought. What do I think is the most forgotten move in a hero's kit? Most forgotten move in a hero's kit. It's a good question. I think most assassin players forget to deflect. That's my thought there. I take back my comment on Sohei. I have a hard time fighting, some help with learning how to counter him. Top heavy was really helpful. Okay, you want to know how to counter a Sohei. Don't rush to the parry. A lot of Sohei will soft feint their heavies and their zones to try to guard break you. Don't focus on the parry unless you are sure that you will get a good parry off of it. Also, bait out their dodges. A lot of Sohei want to do a bash to open you up to get one of their weapons filled. Dodge their bash. Gives you a good opening. Don't rely on deflex unless you're playing Orochi and can break his hyper armor. Valkyrie, huh? We can go Valkyrie. Another option you can do is to bash him. If you're playing a bash-based character, bashing Sohei is a great way to counter his hyper armor. Berserker breaks hyper armor. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Berserker does break hyper armor, and Orochi does too. Does Orochi break hyper armor now? Yes, he does. The only ones who don't, I think, are Nusya, Hatun, and I think Peacekeeper. I don't know. Maybe Peacekeeper can too. Oh yeah, Pirate's a good counter to Sohei. Also, hyper armor characters are also good against Sohei if you know you can trade. For example, Shugoki and Hitakiri are good counters to him. Also, if you have a good all-guard hero, I think Conqueror and Kyoshin are good counters against Sohei. Like, what Sohei wants to do, and I said this to someone the other day, Sohei really wanted to, I had a fan who really wanted to get better with Sohei, like he just bought the character and wanted to learn how to do him, and I explained to him, Sohei is a buzzsaw. He wants to get in and start throwing his attacks as fast as he can to fill his souls. Well, that can also work against Sohei, because if he gets a little bit too excited, then he's going to start throwing attacks without thinking, and that can give you the opportunity to catch him with an all guard, or with a crushing counter, or with a bash. Take advantage of the fact that some Sohei get a little bit too anxious to get all their souls in. Glads don't break hyper armor. Ah, you're right, they do. You're right, they do not break hyper armor with the skewer. You are right. I think that's weird that some can and some can't. I feel like that should be a yes or no in all circumstances. Pirate helps too. Yes, Pirate's pistol helps, but I classify that as something of a bash. Sohei or Centurion, who wants to guard break you more? Sohei. Sohei definitely wants the guard break because it means they can get 3 of their souls almost automatically. And since Sohei is strongest when he has all 6 of his souls, he wants those. I struggle with Centurion too. Well, that's understandable. Centurion's a really strong character. Three souls. Yeah, if you guard break successfully with Sohei, you can tap your opponent 3 times to fill 3 souls. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it gives you the souls you need. I remember you once said, never let a Centurion guard break you. Yes. If a Centurion can guard break you, he's going to make your life miserable. Trust me, you don't want it to happen. Raven, I do have Sohei, but I don't play him often. Tips to get better with him. I want to rep him up because I like Sohei. I want to make one similar. Okay, so my advice for Sohei. I said this to my buddy the other day. Your zone attack is your best friend. You are capable of doing an infinite chain combo if you go into your zone after any hit. So constantly be going into your zone. And the great thing about your zone is that you can also soft feint it into a guard break, which makes things a lot more difficult for your enemy. Your enemy knows that if he completes if you complete your zone as a Sohei, you can free flow into another weapon attack. They don't want that, so they have to weigh the options. Do I parry his zone and risk getting guard broken, or do I not parry, knowing that I'm going to eat another weapon attack? Also, bashes are a good idea too. Don't be afraid to throw some bashes in there to mix it up, because unlike a lot of characters, the Sohei Palm Strike guarantees a heavy or light, which means that from that heavy or light, you can go into a weapon attack of that type. So you definitely want to rely on your bash to open up the enemy a little bit. So yeah, those would be some advices I have. That would be some advice I have on the matter. Heavy, guaranteed heavy. Yes, if you get a palm strike with Sohei, you can throw your heavy. It is guaranteed. Same thing with JJ's bash. JJ's bash doesn't guarantee a heavy. It guarantees a light. All right, later one, Mime. Ah, damn it! I mistimed the dodge. I was gonna do a piercing, but I mistimed it. This might be my last match. I'm kind of tired. Plus, I got to get up early tomorrow. It is Sunday, and I have to release my Esther video. I'm also going to be working hard on my Platoon Heroes in History. Excuse me. Do you get Monday off because of President's Day? We've got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. They gave us 3 whole days. Alright, I'm healed up enough. Let's get going. So I'll have plenty of time to work on that video and a few others. And look forward to this coming Wednesday, guys. That's when the next Ubisoft video will go live. I can't say which one it is. When it comes to fantasy literature, which you prefer between classic token-esque high fantasy and darker fantasy, akin to Berserk, Song of Ice and Fire? I like both, honestly, but I prefer high fantasy, personally. When it comes to dark fantasy, it can work, but I'm not as big a fan of darker literature, especially when it's just for the sake of being darker. I think a really good example of dark fantasy that I enjoy is the Witcher series. I think the Witcher works very well. But that's because it's also reflecting some of the darkness of the time in the medieval era. The medieval era was a difficult time. It had a lot of strife and struggle. So they're showing that through the dark storytelling. Song of Ice and Fire, I don't know if it's doing it for in the same vein, but that's just me. I prefer high fantasy that has a lot of different races and peoples and cultures and monsters, and that's always where I've gravitated toward. That's actually why I like isekai so much at first, because it felt like right up my alley, but then every isekai started looking the same to me, and now I just... Everyone died in their 30s in the Middle Ages? No, they did not. They did not. That's a common misconception that everyone died in their 30s. The life expectancy was lower than it is today, but not everyone died in their 30s. There were some folks who lived much longer. Is Lord of the Rings high fantasy or dark fantasy? High fantasy. That would be high fantasy. I love Berserk and ASOIAF. Oh, A Song of Ice and Fire. It's fine. I only have to get 3 more. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to do something. I know that I said that was my last match, but I'm going to do one more match of Dominion, but I'm going to do it against bots only because I just need to get this one order done. So let's knock that out. Some died in their teens to babies. Yeah, they did. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm just saying the life expectancy was lower, but not everyone died so young. That's all I'm saying. Warlord, let's go. Warmonger, let's go you. So that we can get you repped up. It is hard to find high fantasy without smut these days. Any ideas? Well, I haven't read any new high fantasy stuff lately, so I would need to see. I, for one, like when writers try to blend the two forms of fantasy. Unfortunately, I have a hard time finding writers who do that. Well, what do you mean? I felt like take my story New Epic. I feel like New Epic combines high fantasy and dark fantasy. I feel like that's what it does. Is that what you're thinking about? What defines high fantasy? High fantasy is usually where the world you live in is one of magic and fantasy, where there's not just the human race, but a lot of different other races. Magic is highly involved, and there is not a preceding sense of doom. Because that's dark fantasy. Dark fantasy can take place in a world of magic, but the general consensus is that everything sucks. Is this Celine? Yes, this is Celine. Warhammer 40K? Warhammer 40K is more closely science fiction, I would say. But yeah, there's an argument to be made that it's dark fantasy, that it's a dark fantasy, because it's definitely grimdark. But Warhammer 40K would be more dark science fiction because it deals way more in futuristic. The usual way to tell a science fiction is if it deals with futuristic stuff. I mean, if you wanted to argue that fantasy was involved, yes, you have a case to be made, because there's gods, there's magic, there's literally a race of elves and orcs, so there's an argument to be made. I'm not denying that. How many zones do I have? I have one. I need two more. Two more. Celine. No, her name is spelled C-E-L-E-N-E. Correct. No. Could Star Wars, while sci-fi, also be considered high fantasy due to the Night Sisters? Yeah, you can make the argument that fantasy is involved. Yeah, it could be high fantasy. I mean, yeah, science fantasy, something along that line. I could see the argument. Not as easy an argument to make, but I could see it. Got him. Let's go. And now I'll get this zone. And that just leaves one more. All right, that should do it. Now I've completed that order. I just wanted that out of the way. I think one of my favorite high fantasy that I worked on was New Epic. I've tried a lot of different high fantasy stuff, but New Epic was just a lot of fun to work on. Oh crap. Got him. Anyway, Celine felt a little young in your stories, but Warmonger sounds too old. Celine was young. You're right. She's a young woman. What's the problem? I mean, I made my John Who rather young. I don't know the problem. All the griffins look like Holden Cross, but my legend for a griffin isn't Holden Cross. Just being nitpicky? No, it's fine. Just is it a problem?
Enemy team is breaking. The enemy rally.
How old was Celine in Godric's legend? About 18 years old. She was a teenager. Raven, can you confirm that you haven't received information about For Honor's future? Oh, so you're asking if I can confirm, like if Ubisoft's let me in on anything. Okay, so here's what I'll say about that. The For Honor developers have not told me anything about Year 9. They have not revealed a dang thing to me. But even if they had, I could not tell you. Anytime For Honor gives me or someone else early access, they always make us sign an NDA so that we can't talk about it until the appropriate time. So even if they did tell me about something new coming, I couldn't talk about it. When Warmonger sounds in her 40s? Well, what's to say that I don't tell Celine's legend when she's older? Is Celine incapable of getting older? And even if she wasn't, would it ruin the legend for you?
Lost zone C. You captured zone A.
I mean, all older women had to be young at some point, am I right?
You captured zone C. Victory.
All right, we completed that order, and now Celine should rep up. I wonder if I could ask someone who's trying fantasy, what advice would you give to someone trying to write good world building? Trial and error. When you're building a brand new world, like, you need to decide a lot of things. You need to decide a lot of things when you're world building. You need to decide, how big is your world? Is it as big as our world, or is it smaller or lesser so? How many continents are there? How are these continents different from each other? What kind of weather patterns do they suffer from? What kind of governments are we dealing with? Is this a monarchy, a dictatorship, a republic? Like what kind of monarch? What kind of government are we dealing with? What kind of races are involved? What's the relationship between the different races? Do they get along? Do they not get along? How does magic work in this world? If magic exists, how do people treat it? You know, like that kind of thing. Like, you got to ask yourself a lot of questions. It will take time, lots of time to build a world. When I wrote New Epic, I had to take the world we live in now and kind of pretend, okay, that whole world has been crushed, destroyed, flipped on its head. We've got a whole new world on top of it. How does mankind adapt? And we got a lot of answers to that question. We've got brand new races. Do the races stick together? Some do, absolutely. How do the races treat each other? Depends on the race. Some races are naturally more predisposed to certain kind of attitudes and outlooks. Is there a government? Not an official one. There are some unofficial governments that have been created in different regions and territories. Where, like, who's like the singular biggest authority? That would be the church. How's the church doing? The church has been broken up into 3 different factions. One is pro other races, one is anti other races, the other's just trying to figure out what they can do to fix everything, and in the process are ruining more things. What kind of terrain are we talking about? The terrain is made up of various different regions. Because it's still technically our world, we still have a tropical, temperate, tundra, Arctic, rainforest, a whole hodgepodge of different areas. What's the wildlife like? Some wildlife is docile, most is dangerous. Like, you got to figure out how you want to approach everything that you would think is mundane here. Magic, does it exist in this world? Yes. How do people treat it? Most people are very skeptical and afraid of it because it doesn't make sense to them. You know, like, a lot of that comes down to just like working it out, you know? Yeah. Aaron, I like New Epic a lot. Yeah, I know you do, Aaron. I know you like it. But there's a lot that goes into building a world. Anyway, anything else before I go? Because that's going to be the last match of the night. And Warmonger did rep up. Thank goodness. We are now rep 37 with her. How do you handle writing gods in fantasy? Oh, that varies. When I was writing the Ravenlord lore and I wrote the Dianan, who are the basic minor gods of that world, I had to decide what kind of things do they preside over, what do they demand of their followers, what's their overall hierarchy, how much power do they actually have, and how much of it are they willing to use. There's a lot that goes into that. It takes time to establish a hierarchy of gods and what they handle and how they work with each other. Think about how the ancient Greeks probably did it, making up brand new stories over and over and over again. Hatun, you and I have a lot of practicing to do. You're not easy to pick up, sweetheart. You're not easy to pick up and play. Raven, go to the Raider, equip the horn. But yeah, I know you're talking about Extreme. I've seen it. It does look a bit like Whitebeard's mustache. I've seen it. Is your Sohei supposed to be Shrek? Have you heard his legend? Tips on crafting politics. Well, that depends highly on how you want to formulate the government. If you have a medieval style world, you might want to rely on monarchy. If you have a more modern style world, you could go into republic or dictatorship. And it also depends on the kind of culture you're emulating. Are you going more Asiatic? Like, is this going to be a lot like China or Japan, or is this going to be like medieval Europe? If it's like medieval China or Japan, you may want an empire with an emperor and their vassals. If it's going to be like medieval Europe, you may want a king or queen. You know, it's going to depend a lot on the kind of culture you're building. I don't think someone could get away with calling Hatun sweetheart and live for very long. Well, most couldn't, but I'm special. Me and Hatun, we're pretty tight. Me and Alakai, we got something, man. Hope you're having a good night. It's been all right. It's been an all right night. Better than last night, anyway. Anyway, I'll go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys very much. It was a good stream, I feel like. Tomorrow is Sunday. I would say if your world is based on anime, you should call it Weebland. You know, man, if we weren't about to end the stream, I'd ask Lark to time you out, because now you're just obviously trolling. All right, we're ending it there. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.